Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. Come join us as His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj reads from the new Sri Krishna Chaitanya book on January 27th, 2019 in Chennai, India.
Rangulang Gayate Garim Yatkivataman Mande Sigaruninatayanam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Because we're starting very late today,
So because we are starting very late today,
and because it's a Sunday,
and because this is a Sunday,
so we'll have today questions and answers.
so we will have today questions and answers.
We'll start the Chaitanya book compilation tomorrow.
And we will start the Chaitanya book compilation tomorrow.
So if you have any questions,
So if you have any questions,
philosophical,
philosophical,
then you can present them.
then you can present them.
Those who are on internet can send their questions by internet.
Those who are on internet can send their questions by internet.
If you have trouble in understanding anything I'm saying,
If you have trouble understanding anything I'm saying,
then please send the same up, and we will have the voice therapist
so please send the same things up and we will have the voice therapist
train me how to say those words better.
train me how to say those words better.
If you, this morning I didn't have a physical therapist, so we had a meeting of the TOVP exhibition and planetarium wing.
So we had a meeting of TOVP exhibition and planetarium wing,
And that went to about 10 o'clock.
and that went up to 10 o'clock.
People were participating from USA,
People were participating from USA,
UK,
UK,
India,
India,
Australia.
Australia.
People in England, it was 2 a.m.
For people in England it was 2 a.m.
For the people in the USA, and it was night,
For the people in USA it was night,
but still reasonable.
but still reasonable.
And in Australia was afternoon.
And in Australia it was afternoon,
In India was morning.
and in India it was morning.
Then this evening I had my voice therapist, Dr. Prakash, came by.
And this evening I had my voice therapist Dr. Prakash came by.
He dedicated extra time to stay till 1:30.
And he dedicated extra time to stay till 1:30.
This afternoon I cycled 905 cycles.
And this afternoon I cycled 905 cycles.
That's our record, I think.
That's our record today.
So, have some questions?
Yes. Question by Vijaya Radha Devidasi. Dearest Guru Ma- Vijaya Radha Devidasi.
Vijaya Das.
Vijaya Radha Devidasi.
Vijaya Radha Devi Dasi.
Yes.
Spit it out.
Dearest Guru Maharaj, when we feel that Krishna or the devotees are telling us something, how can we be sure it is not our mind? Thank you very much.
While the Guru is present,
While the Guru is present,
you shouldn't feel any doubt.
you shouldn't feel any doubt.
You can always ask the Guru
You can always ask the Guru
if your idea is correct or not.
if your idea is correct or not.
I asked Prabhupada several times about different things like this.
I asked Prabhupada several times about different things like this,
And some things he said they are sent by Krishna,
and some things he said that they were sent by Krishna,
some things not.
some things not.
To be sure, that's why we have a Guru,
So to be sure, that's why we have a Guru,
because we cannot connect directly with Krishna in our conditioned state.
because we cannot connect directly with Krishna in our conditioned state.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Next.
Thank you, Vijaya Radha Devi Dasi.
Thank you, Vijaya Radha Devidasi. Dear Guru Maharaj, how to overcome attachment, fear and anger? From Haridwani.
Attachment, fear, and anger. How to overcome. There's a verse of this in the Bhagavad Gita,
There is a verse of this in the Bhagavad Gita,
and some advice is given there.
and some advice is given there.
But in a nutshell, we want to dovetail everything with Krishna consciousness.
But in a nutshell, we want to dovetail everything in Krishna consciousness.
Instead of being attached to the material world, we are more attached to Krishna and His service.
Instead of being attached to the material world, we are more attached to Krishna and His service.
And anger, instead of being angry because our ego is pinched,
Instead of being angry because our ego is pinched,
or because someone is not giving us the sense gratification we want,
or because someone is not giving us the sense gratification we want,
or because someone is criticizing us unnecessarily,
or because someone is criticizing us unnecessarily, unconstructively,
then if we get angry,
then if we get angry,
that's material.
that's material.
But if someone offends a devotee or Krishna, if we get angry,
But if someone offends a devotee or Krishna and then if we get angry,
that's Krishna conscious.
that's Krishna conscious.
So anger, we try to use it for the right reason, and anger for the wrong reason, we renounce.
So anger, we try to use it for the right reason, and the anger for wrong, we renounced.
And since Krishna promises he will protect his devotee,
And since Krishna promises he will protect his devotees,
"Me bhakta pranashati,"
Name bhaktya pranashyati,
my devotee will never be destroyed.
my devotee will never be destroyed.
So why should we have any fear?
So why we should have any fear?
Fear is a part of the material world.
Fear is the part of the material world,
And fear means that we take it as a caution,
and the fear means we take it as a caution.
but we don't actually fear absolutely because we depend on the mercy and protection of Krishna.
And we don't fear absolutely because we depend on the mercy and protection of Krishna.
But if he tells us in our mind that going to this place is dangerous now,
But if he tells us in our mind that going to this place is dangerous now,
we take that also a warning by Krishna.
we take that also as a warning by Krishna.
Just like now, I saw on the news that in Louisiana, some people were killed in Baton Rouge.
In Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Just now I saw in the news that in the Louisiana some people were killed
in Baton Rouge. In Baton Rouge.
in Baton.
Baton Rouge.
In the Baton Rouge.
So you live on the border of Louisiana.
So if you live on the border of Louisiana,
She does.
she does.
She lives in New Telephone, which is on the border of Louisiana.
So you live on the border of Louisiana, New Talwan,
And Mississippi,
in Mississippi,
and Picayune.
in PKU.
So if Krishna warned you that you shouldn't go to Baton Rouge, that means that because there are people shooting there.
So if Krishna wants you to not go,
Warns you.
to not go to the roofs, then it's maybe because people are shooting there. Dear Guru Maharaj, how to develop tolerance towards everything? From Radha Shri. Radha Shri.
Radha Sri.
Radha Shri.
How to develop tolerance for everything.
Yes.
It's very hard to tolerate absence of Krishna
It is very hard to tolerate the absence of Krishna
and the absence of Prabhupada.
and the absence of Prabhupada.
So that's called vipralamba bhav,
That's called Vipralamba Bhav
feeling separation.
or feeling separation.
That's something we don't have to tolerate.
That is something we don't have to tolerate.
We can cry.
We can cry.
But all these false little things I was talking about before,
But all these false ego things that I was talking about before,
we tolerate those
we tolerate those
because we know that they're not constructive.
because we know that they are not constructive.
So unless we can do something for Krishna, we tolerate it, we don't want to do it.
So unless we can do something for Krishna, we tolerate and we don't do it.
So as we develop more attachment for Krishna, it's easier to tolerate material things.
So as we develop more attachment to Krishna, it's easier to tolerate material things.
So what we should do as a human being is learn more about Krishna.
So what we should do as a human being is to learn more about Krishna
And to develop our affection and attraction for Krishna.
and to develop our affection and attraction for Krishna.
And then it's very easy to tolerate all the other things.
Then it's very easy to tolerate all the other things. Next. From Mathura Lileshwari Devidasi, Mathura Lileshwari, Gita Nagari. From Gita Nagari. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, how do we draw the line between constructive criticism and fault finding? Even if we are clear in our mind that we are giving constructive feedback, the person might not view it that way, and because of that we often refrain from saying anything. What should be the right approach?
It depends. First of all, constructive means that you're telling the person how they can improve.
First of all, constructive means that you are telling the person how they can improve.
But just telling the person how they're wrong is not constructive.
And just telling the person how they are wrong is not constructive.
The rule of thumb is that we don't tender any advice, constructive or otherwise, to the senior devotees.
But the rule of thumb is that we don't tender any advice, constructive or otherwise, to the senior devotee.
Rather, our senior devotee, we ask a question.
Rather, to a senior devotee, we ask a question.
Because we always have a right to ask the question.
And we all have right to ask the question.
And you can get your point across by putting it, even though it's put as a question.
And you can get your point across even though it is put as a question.
Say that somebody is a senior devotee and they're not behaving what you think is correct.
Say that if someone is a senior devotee and they are not behaving the way you think that it is correct.
I say that, Prabhu, I look to you as an example to follow.
So if we say to them that, Prabhu, I look to you as an example to follow.
And you've always told us we should do like this.
And you have always told us that we should do like this.
I saw that you're doing like that.
But I saw that you are doing like that.
So there must be some reason why you're doing.
So there,
Illuminate me.
so there must be some reason why you are doing. So can you illuminate me?
And if the person will either illuminate you, or if they don't, that means you caught them doing something wrong.
So the person may illuminate you, or if they don't, then that means you have caught them doing something wrong.
And if they're broad-minded, they'll apologize and tell, I don't know.
And if they are broad-minded, then they will apologize
And say that that activity is not something to follow.
and say that that activity is not something to follow.
Prabhupada once went to see Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Prabhupada Thakur's brother.
So Prabhupada once went to see Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's, Prabhupada's brother.
And so since he was the brother of his guru, he accepted him as a senior devotee.
So since he was the brother of his guru, he accepted him as a senior devotee.
I had the good fortune of being with him at that time.
And I had the good fortune to be with him at that time.
He had previously discussed about developing the birthplace of Bhakti Vinod Thakur.
So he had previously discussed about developing the birthplace of Bhakti Vinod Thakur.
But this time he refused.
But this time he refused.
So Prabhupada asked the question,
So Prabhupada asked the question,
isn't it sinful
isn't it sinful
if you cannot develop the birthplace of, if somebody cannot develop the birthplace of Bhakti Vinod Thakur,
if somebody cannot develop the birthplace of Bhakti Vinod Thakur,
and someone who can is not given a chance?
and someone who can is not given a chance?
Isn't it sinful?
Isn't it sinful?
So technically that's a question.
So technically that's the question.
Isn't it sinful?
Isn't it sinful?
But he got the idea across.
But he got the idea across.
But technically, even he may not have liked it,
So technically even he may not have liked it,
it was not an offense,
it was not an offense.
because he asked it as a question.
Because he asked it as a question.
So that's the principle we should ask as a question.
So that's the principle that we should ask as a question.
If someone who is senior to us,
If someone who is senior to us,
if someone is under our care, then we can offer them constructive criticism.
if someone is under our care, then we can offer them constructive criticism.
Or if someone is peer, equal, depending on your relationship, you could offer a constructive criticism, or you could ask a question.
Or if someone is a peer or equal, then depending on your relationship, you can ask as a question or as a constructive criticism.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Pamo question. If a devotee shares about what he doesn't like about another devotee, highlights few shortcomings of the devotee, is that an offense on the part of the speaker and also the listener?
It can be an offense
It can be an offense
if it's presented in such a way that you respectfully say that this particular thing should not be followed.
So if it is presented in such a way, a respectful way that this thing should not be followed,
The devotee is otherwise very good, but this particular habit is something that we don't follow.
this devotee is otherwise very good, but this particular habit we don't follow.
It is presented in a very constructive way.
If it is presented in a very constructive way,
Like Prabhupada in the 12th chapter of the Adi Lila CC has given the details of the Gaudiya Mats,
like Srila Prabhupada in the 12th chapter of Adi Lila CC has given the details of the Gaudiya Math
breakup,
breakup
and failure to maintain the instructions of the founder.
and failure to maintain the instructions of the founder.
So Prabhupada gave those details to warn us that we should not do the same thing.
So Prabhupada gave us the details to warn us that we should not do the same thing.
So some of the Gaudiya Math leaders asked us to take out the 12th chapter.
So some of the Gaudiya Maths, the devotees ask us to take out the 12th chapter,
But we said that we don't have the right to take out Prabhupada's writings.
but we said that we don't have a right to take out Prabhupada's writing.
So depending on how you do it,
So depending on how you do it,
if it's to warn someone
if it is to warn someone
not to follow this example,
not to follow this example,
then it may be all right.
then it may be all right.
See, Prabhupada was talking about his god brothers.
See, Prabhupada was talking about his god brothers.
If one is junior devotee talking about someone who's more advanced or more senior,
If one is some junior devotee talking about someone who is very advanced or senior,
it may be what they call Morjada Langmana, a expression of the seniority.
it may be what they call the Maryada Ullangana.
Morjada Langmana.
Maryada Langana, the transgression of seniority. 925.
Okay, last question.
Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. How to tolerate pains from the body at the same time do devotional service enthusiastically from Sureshwar Nimai Das.
Well, if you can do that, it's a sign of being very advanced.
Well, if you can do that, it's a sign of being a very advanced.
Usually, when they are suffering, it's hard to render devotional service enthusiastically.
When one may have a suffering, it's hard to render devotional service enthusiastically.
But some devotees are able to do so,
But some devotees are able to do so.
and that depends on how grateful you are to the Guru, or how you are attached to Gauranga or Krishna.
That depends on how grateful you are to the Guru and how attached you are to Gauranga and Krishna.
And also how bad is material suffering going through.
And also, how bad is the material subject you're going through?
Suffering.
Suffering you're going through.
So I want to thank all the devotees on the internet
So I thank all the devotees on the internet
who have come tonight.
who have come tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.